On this episode of the Carolina Sports Guy, we're dealing with the Carolina Hurricanes, folks. We're going to kind of look about these last couple games against the Flyers and with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and also going to look at this upcoming deal Jesperi Kotkaniemi is received from the Carolina Hurricanes. Before we get into today's video, make sure you subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Pound that like button. Hit that bell notification to be notified of future videos like this on the Hurricanes. And by all means, folks, hey, leave me some comments. Uncle Chucky loves the dialogue. All right, folks, kind of want to look at a couple things. Number one, an outstanding game against Philly on Saturday night. Very good game, a very good win in Raleigh, important win. And, you got Jordan Martinick with a goal. Really helped pave the way. Aho got a second game where he's got an empty net goal. Hurricanes look really, really good in this game. Cannot stop and applaud enough for the playing style of this team and how well they've done. And with 87 points, getting very close. Here we are in the middle of March. Can we get to 100 points before the month's over? That's going to be crucial and important. We've only had 100 points a few times in our history, and I think the year we won the Stanley Cup was like 112 points. We could shatter that. It could happen as long as they don't fall apart here. Number two, they had the game against the Pittsburgh Penguins here in Pittsburgh. Now, the one thing about it, with a daylight savings time, you're losing an hour. They basically had a turnaround of about 21 hours to play this game, 22 hours. Factor in daylight savings times 21 hours, and you're flying from Raleigh to Pittsburgh. You're already worn out from the game and tired. By the time you get your shower, pack your bags, or you go home, whatever, and then you got to get up early in the morning to fly out to Pittsburgh and get there, and then there's a skate and a ritual and everything you can go to. Guys were tired and had to find their legs, and Pittsburgh's been off a couple of days. It happens in the schedule the way these COVID protocols took place. Knew Pittsburgh was going to be rested. I had a feeling that this was going to happen against Pittsburgh, who needed the points. And that's why I'm really glad we did not blow it against Philly the night before, because if anything, beating Pittsburgh, or even if we could have got 1 point against Pittsburgh and we lost this game 4-2 because they had an empty net goal, so when it was 3-2, even if we could have got a point out of this, it would have been a win-win. But it does happen. You're going to drop games like this, and we're going to come back later in the week, play Toronto at home. Hopefully with a home stand, we can acquire some points and get over 90 points within this next week here. It's going to be critical. Now, a couple things I want to talk about. Upcoming free agents, I know defensively, we got Slavin and, you got Bear, and what do we do with Bear? Do we acquire another piece at the trade deadline on defense, like a Klingberg from Dallas? One of the guys from the Arizona Coyotes might be a defensive player on the trading block. Who knows? But guys like Pesci and Slavin are set in stone. What about a guy like, Ian Cole's done well, but when he comes back, Tony DeAngelo, he's really deserved a raise. But the injury, though, keeping him sidelined, is that going to keep us from paying this man? Can we afford to pay him? Or is he going to really seek a bigger payday for somebody else? And I think that's probably what's going to happen, which is a shame. He's played well for us. It's been a firecracker. It's been outstanding as a defenseman. You ask me, he really took Dougie Hamilton's spot. And has played it really well. Different kind of defenseman, but same kind of result. So you got to really like a spark. He's provided with a little bit more grit. Now, in saying that, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, the forward we got from Montreal on the offer sheet, this 1-year deal, big money paid. Montreal said we overpaid for him. It looks like at the trade deadline, in another few days or week, whatever, we're going to end up paying him an 8-year, south of $5 million a year deal, which the average is very good for us. It is a long-term deal, however. Now, evidently, we must like him enough, a lot, to keep him at center. Here's my thinking. Deal doesn't hurt so bad if you think Jordan Stahl's only got another year or so and you're planning on him, weeding him out. Of course, we love his leadership. We love the grit and what he brings as a veteran to the team. But he can't play forever, and there's going to come eventually at a time as his point production slipped that he's more of a liability than an asset. And I'm not saying that's bad, because I think we need him definitely this year. But what about next year? Or what about if we do get another year out of him, when is this tank empty? Remember, we moved on from Eric Stahl at one time too. So that's something to focus on, especially the center position, because Kotkaniemi might be a guy that we need there. Now, there's two players that really worry me that we could lose that I don't want to lose, because we know Aho's here to stay. And with Svechnikov here as a winger, and we keep Kotkaniemi. Now, the two guys I get worried about losing, the biggest one I'm afraid that we're definitely going to lose because of the signing now is Vinny Trochek. And I love Trochek's game. And I think Trochek is by far away a better player than Kotkaniemi, at least right now. Now, 5 years from now, Kotkaniemi's young. He might be a situation, because it's like Svechnikov's draft age. He's young. He could grow and get better. While Trochek by then could still be a good player, but he might be peaking right now. This could be it for him. This could be it the next couple of years at his height. Now, like a Tom Brady, he could keep playing at a high level at an older age, and they just brought that in because age. Sometimes guys play above their age, they don't age out. But it could mean that Trochek will be out the door when the season's over, and I hate to lose him. I'd love to bring Trochek back. But with Trochek and DeAngelo, you can't keep everybody. You just can't. And so far, our front office has done a pretty good job about the people they brought back and the ones they didn't. I don't know what the situation with Freddie Anderson is or with Ante Ranta. I'm hoping we've signed them more than the one-year deal because they played outstanding. It's like we've got two #1 goalies right now, and it's been great. But the other player I worry about losing, and not as much as Trochek, but it could be a situation where if we sign Trochek, this guy's gone. And that's Martin Necas. I don't want to lose him because he is younger than Trochek. I think his skill set's a little bit better than Kotkaniemi's. Sometimes we're expecting Kotkaniemi to explode. And at times Necas has with his speed, but sometimes it's like he's been in a funk. And we don't really want to lose him. I definitely want to keep Necas. I want to keep Necas above Teravainen. I want to keep Necas above Niederreiter. And I don't think people have a problem keeping Necas over Niederreiter. Some people might think Teuvo Teravainen, especially in the chemistry he has with Aho, might be something we don't want to lose. But I really don't want to lose Necas. And as much as I love Vinny Trochek, between Necas, I'd probably want to stick with Necas long term because of his age and potential. But God knows right now, Trochek, if we could get another couple of years out of the man, the way he's playing, he's really played awesome for us. He's just great. I don't want to lose him either. That's kind of a good problem to have. We've got so much talent, but we can't play everybody. But man, with guys like Seth Jarvis, and then in the minors you got Ryan Suzuki and just a whole bunch of slew of other talent. Gosh knows, Drury, guys that are really ready to play. Eventually, some of these guys are going to have to let go, or you're going to have to let them test the market, or you're going to have to bring another guy up, and it's the way we have to do. We've been very fortunate in our drafting and the free agents we've gone after and the ones we've acquired, and that's a good thing to have. But the Kotkaniemi signing just shows this franchise is not about inching and pinching. This franchise is looking down the road and making decisions, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but at least you've got to take your hat off. The team's making moves and trying things to get better. Okay, folks, what do you think of today's video? Do you think Kotkaniemi was a good signing for the 8 years at less than $5 million a year? Or do you think it was a disaster? Who do you think you desire to keep more? Tony DeAngelo, Martin Necas, or Vinny Trochek? Leave me some comments. I love the dialogue. Pound that like button. Hit that bell notification to be notified of future videos like this on the Hurricanes. And by all means, folks, subscribe. It's free. And we'll see you next time on another episode of Carolina Sports Guy.